Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, keeping me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome, welcome. Please remember to subscribe, share the video, give the video a thumbs up if you find the content informative, as well as feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. To my subscribers, my loyal subscribers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you. Yes, you've been with me all year, most of you, and I do appreciate it. And for those who came on board late, oh my goodness, I also appreciate you. So, of course, you guys know the ropes. You're going to give the video a thumbs up from now on, please, as well as share and then return to join me. I'll wait for you. Yes. And then we can get on with business. Now, before the year is out and while you're away, busy sharing and so on, I think I'd like to bring all of those persons who commented first on my previous videos. I only hope I remember which videos they are. But I would like to thank you guys. I'm going to feature you now because I promised to. And I know you're looking forward to it, to hear the big up you're going to get. Yes, man. All right, so let's see who's first. So this is my most recently uploaded video, Why Bunting Hates Dr. Peter Phillips. And the first person to comment was Political Lifestyle. Thank you for your support, all your Political Lifestyle, as well as the Jamaica Politics Uncover family, JPU. I do appreciate your company for sure. All right, so you're going to get your customary applause, but because the applause is so long and there are so many to get through, we're going to do the applause at the end, okay? Great. All right, so let's see who's next. So for the video Abolish Hard Trust, the first person to comment was Diplomat. Yes, Diplomat, you are the first. Big up, big up, big up. All right, let's check the next one. So the next video, who says Mark Golding has no plans for Jamaica? The first person to comment was Jonah McFarlane. He said, present teacher. Yes, and you're present tonight. Big up, Jonah, big up. Yay, you were the first. All right, great. We're having fun, aren't we, guys? So for our next video, Bad Christmas for Bunting and Golding, let's see who was the first to comment. It's Andal, second time around. And yes, yes, big up, and big up, you did it. First to comment on that video. Great, let's see who's next. So the next video was simply titled Paula Wins. And yes, it was Arthur A. Wilson. You were the first to comment on that video and you were telling me about your dinner. Yes, I hope you enjoyed it. Wonderful. Big up, Arthur. Big up, big up. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let's see now who's next. And for the video, who should go and who should stay? The first person to comment was my comrade sister, Joan Drummond. Yes, Joan, big up, man. Big up yourself. And that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thank you, everyone who made your comments on the videos. Yes, I did read them and I did enjoy them. Yes, indeed. I want to thank you all, and I want you to give those who got in first a big round of applause, and I want you to give yourself a big clap. Yes, as Miss Lou would say, clap yourself. And thank you all so much. I enjoyed that. And I know by now everybody is back with me. So now it's time to get down to business. So the tough question is, what do I want in 2025? Is it a house? Is it a cruise? With win the lotto? A whole chest full of money? Or one of that fancy car over there? So, what is it that I want to see in the new year? Well, since this is basically a political channel, and politics is about serving the interests of people, a variety of people. You know, everybody have their own interests. Yes, the businessman, his interest is to make pots of money so he can make profits, yes, for himself and his family, and to expand business. Yes, I wish them all the best. For the workers, yes, they're hoping that their money can stretch a little further. Yes, that's their interest. And politics is what is going to enable that. Then you have children, and them don't know why they're going to school, but they're going all the same because big people tell them that they should. And if they don't, they might get a spanking. So, yes, that's them, and they have the interest. You have those persons who are gifted in some way or another and hoping that they'll be able to realize their dreams through their gift. Very good idea. If you're young and you're just starting out, yes, take Mr. Vibes Cartel advice. Think about what it is that you like doing. Think about what you do best. Combine the two, and that is a reason for living. Yes, it's all about all of us. That's why each of us have gifts. Mind, most of us only have one, but some have several gifts. And we have them in order to benefit the community that we live in. It is not very obvious or apparent in the society that we live in because we're living under a master and slave system where people are basically put to work. Not necessarily for the good of everyone, but in order to survive personally and for the family and to make other people rich. That's a system that we have. The one we're coming from is or was still is, it still exists. Most of Africa is under that system, not the political one. Political one, like the idiotic one that we have operating, that basically is what is seen. I don't think many of those leaders on the continent control what's going on in the villages, in the rural areas. They mainly control what it was that the European powers control, the coast, as well as the cities. But that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about the traditional systems that we came from: eldership system, age group system, combination of both in some instances. Those systems were communal. And my friend from the Ivory Coast, he told me just the other day, we had a conversation, that what we have is really a corporate culture. It's everybody working for the good of everyone else. Nobody trying to be better than anybody else. It's all a corporation. That's where we are coming from. And what we have now is every man for himself. And it's not a working system. It is the sole reason why we have crime. Yes, because in our system, we had no such thing. That's why we never have prison. We never have nowhere to hold people, with a holding area, prison, not like that. No juvenile delinquent center, and no home for the insane, right? No Bellevue, right? Because of the system that was operating for tens of thousands of years. Now that system worked. The European, though, he wanted to create a system that had him at the center, reaping all the resources and giving crumbs to others. That's basically what he was. So he set up these systems and left a few puppets behind to carry it on. But I hope we will all live to see the end of this nonsense and the return of what it was that we had, which is far superior than what is going on now. Our system, of course, had weaknesses, which is the reason why they were able to overpower us in the first place. So that would have to be fixed before we can think of instituting, the changes. But it will come by hook or crook, because This system is a system that is based upon evil. It's an evil system. It fosters evil, it promotes evil, and evil is what we get. So when we're talking about changing the constitution, if all we are doing is turning around the system and changing this and changing that, but not making the fundamental change, it's not going to solve any problems. People will still be homeless. People will still be in poverty. There will still be hunger and thirst, jobless people, hopeless people, and all kind of debauchery and criminality will be besetting us until we return to who we are. But that is one of the things that I hope to see next year, but I do not know if the system will be in place in time. In other words, the adjustments that need to be made, if they will be completed by next year. Because one of the things that this system does is that it's also a distraction. You spend so much time hustling for money that you have no real time to do anything that is useful to anybody else. Follow me, my peeps? So that's one of my hopes for the new year. But in terms of what I want to see, well, for those of you, my peeps, who have friends in high places, wanna rub shoulders with the knobs like, Prime Minister, all them knobbish people, Yes, if you have them kind of links, I want you to send this video to the Prime Minister, please. And thank you. Because I not going to pressure the thing too much. But I'm going to hope that I'm going to give some things that I think could be useful for all of us. And some of them is more particular to certain areas and not everywhere else. Now that we full of money, we have money like dirt, Prime Minister tell we. Money like dirt. Here's what I would like to see for my 2025. First of all, since the Prime Minister and the Labour Party is talking about needs and identifying people, I'm not quite sure of what practical use that is if you don't know where to find people. So let me put in my first request on my requisition for 2025, that one of the things that the government ought to do is to put in place a policy where every street has a name and every lot of land has a number. It's called physical address. In the city of Kingston and all of the towns, the capital towns and some of the smaller towns, they have street and street numbers. They have physical addresses. But in rural areas where people live on roads, the roads don't have no name and they don't have a lot number. So when them buy furniture from courts and giving them direction, them have to tell them, say, when them come to Mr. Chin's shop, when them come to Mr. Chin's shop, then go little further, about a chain further, them turn left into that little lane, and then travel about a mile till them come to one guango tree, where them see one little bar. Just go right, turn right there, so, and go around a little further. And when they reach the bend, you see one dirt road, and then you see the gate with one blue drum pan. That is what we call physical address in Jamaica in this modern day and age. Mr. Prime Minister, that can't work. So we need all of our streets to be named and numbers. We need name and numbers for even the lanes and tracks, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're going to be talking about crime and reducing crime, it's very important that the police can find the people who call them for help. Once we put in place a system where there must be a physical address, the parish council are the ones who would be responsible for making sure that all of the streets and lanes and tracks in their division is named and numbered, right? Then now that goes on a map, and the map goes to the police station. With an app, a location app, the police can put in the address and rush off to find the people very quickly. They don't have to waste time getting all of them cumbersome direction, right? And that is how now you help to secure your people. So that's the importance of having a physical address, not just the ease and comfort of people, but also you'll be able to provide them with security. And remember, that is your first responsibility as Prime Minister. It is not to build house. That's not for your business. They only a help out, right? So, but your business is to keep the people secured. And the physical addresses is one way to help in securing people. Good. You can come with your needs after that. Wonderful. So that's the first thing. The next thing that I would like to see is the government putting in place 3 applications, yes. One of them would be a 119 app that is voice activated. So if anybody's in a taxi or in trouble, or they suspect they're going to be in trouble, they just say a code word and the phone will send off an emergency, right, to the nearest police station or to the 119 number. And the police will be able to track the phone and stop the vehicle, and hopefully, if, save people, if lives needs to be saved, just in case some criminal elements are in that vehicle. So I would recommend that you think of a 119 app. A 119 app also could help in people reporting crime on the street that they may see or so on. The third thing that I would like to see, and this is something now that will go a long way to drastically reducing crime. It won't eliminate it. It won't eliminate it because of the kind of system that we're operating. The system to eliminate crime is the eldership system and the age group system that we operate on the continent. That will eliminate the crime, period. No matter the size of the population, because of it's a cooperative system, right? Everybody work for the benefit of everybody else. That's the system. But this fool white man nonsense that we've been operating since 1962, we can only hope to reduce it. And one thing that is effective in reducing crime that I learned when I was in real estate, believe it or not, was the Citizens Watch. When I go into an area and I see these signs, I ask the owner, I say, but it work? They say, yes, man. And they start to tell you what kind of problem they were having before. And when they instituted the neighborhood watch, Citizens Watch, whatever you want to call it, it cut down the crime completely in the area. Right? Why? Because you put up your sign and everybody knows who intends to do evil, that if you go in that place, you stand a good chance of getting caught. Why? Because people are watching you. The reason why criminality thrive, it is because nobody not paying attention. Nobody is paying attention, and even if they see something suspicious, nobody knows really what to do. They're just going to them house, go lock up. When you have a Citizens Watch cooperation between the police, the citizens, and the citizens there cooperating with them one another, anybody with evil intent going in that area is taking a big risk. Why? Because people watching. They watch, they see you, you look suspicious, they call the police. One benefit in that is that the police will have time to organize itself before the person can commit any crime. And so the Citizens Watch is a big deterrent. Now, how do you apply that? I suggest, Prime Minister, that you may have to pass a law requiring that every single community, and you have to determine the community. I guess the parish council would have that already organized, right? Every single community must have a watch. Every business district must have a watch. So it will be a national citizen watch system that you're putting in place. You're not going to leave it to whether or not people want to watch it or no. You should make it law that every community must form a citizen association. And that citizen association should not only involve owners, but also tenants and workers. You want everybody involved in it, right? And if you do that, I guarantee you it is more effective in reducing the level of crime everywhere in the country. And you're not having states of emergency to deprive people of their rights. It's the citizens who will be working with the police now, right, to help themselves. All you have to do is get the vehicles out to the police, and the citizens and the police will do the rest. Bad man will have to go find something else to do with his time. What do you say? Sound good? I think so too. Now, truth be told, Prime Minister, there is such a system in place at the moment. Yes, but it does not have legal force. You need to give it legal force and don't leave it up to people's decision whether or not they want to cooperate with one another. You're going to have to put it in law. That's the key. Make it legal and put the parish councillors and the police and the JPs to help the citizens to organize themselves as watch. All right? Good. And that is what the best thing you can do in this idiotic system that we operate to cut down on the crime without depriving people of their rights. So where I'm going with it? Wonderful. Now, I would suggest that you could have an incentive program. For argument's sake, the government can offer to make the signs for the people to put at the various entrances, because you're going to need sign as a deterrent, right? So you make signs, and you may want to, if the citizens form themselves into a watch, maybe you make it something that they have to register at the company's office, or register with, maybe you call it Citizen Watch Association. I do believe they have one. Make that official. And then you can then funnel funds to those citizens to help them to do things in the community as well. To, if they want to pay watchers, they might want to pay watchers. People who don't have nothing to do, they can pay them. I don't know what you think about that. That is something that you can think of. Great. So let's move to the next one. Now, I have one that I am sure Sister Faith will going to like. Yes, man, she will love this one. I call it a tax app. A tax app, which is basically intended for the small man, the poor man, the businessman, the small businessman, those persons who are operating barbershops, hairdressing salon, or they just have one of those, what they call them, station in a hairdressing salon, the taxi man, the taxi operator, other persons such as gardeners and housekeepers, these little handy the man with wash car and all them kind of things here. Those small people, they are the ones that are not in the net. Why? Because the tax system was never really intended for them. It was intended for businesses. We can afford to set up accountants and all them kind of people there for do all kinds of calculations. And so there are so many services that we would like to see them enjoy that they are not able to enjoy because the thing just too big for them. Like, for example, we would like them to pay into NIS so them can get a little pension when them get old, like me. And then what about NHT? Enough people would like to pay NHT. But, them don't know how to really go about it. That's what Jamaican people, they don't know how to go about it, and then they ask no question, right? So here's what we suggest at Jamaica 411, that you consider creating an app. That app is, I call, a tax app. And what it will do, it would provide very simple bookkeeping. Let's give an example. The taxi man earns a 5,000 for the day, and he would simply go into the app and put that he earned 5,000 for the day and spend 2,000 in gas. That's his expenses. Every day that he works, that's all he puts in that app. What he earns, what he spends for gas, and whatever else you're going to allow him, you'll put that in that app. Then, at the end of the month, say the 28th of the month, the app does a calculation for him to show him, based upon his income and his expenses, this is what he should pay for income tax if he's eligible. If not, it will be zero. This is what he should pay in NHD. This is what he should pay in NIS, and so on, because of his income bracket. And you can have the app set him up. If he doesn't have any NIS or so, you have the app set him up by applying for the NIS without him have to go anywhere. Right? The app does that, everything for him. Then now you will have a situation where you have people now, more people, the small people now, small business people, who will now be able to have their taxes paid, the contributions made. Because at the end of the month, what the app will do is tell them what it is that they should pay, and if they must pay, say, 6,000 total, all they have to do is just press a button. Pay now. Bam. And you get the money just like that, Mas Andrew. Transferred from their bank account to the TAJ. And you may say, but what happens if they don't have no bank account? Well, maybe that's what you need to do now, Mas Andrew. You need to make it easier for people who intends to use this app to get a bank account. And yes, if there are some people don't even want to do that, then what you could possibly do is give them a card that they could pay on the card and pay the taxes that the app says they owe. You will figure that out. I don't have to do all of it, but I'm just suggesting that a tax app is what will be very helpful in getting more people to enjoy the benefits of NIS, NHD. They can pay the HEART, whatever else, such as education, tax, yes. Now, the system, therefore, if I may sum it up, is an application that will be on every phone in Jamaica. It will be a simple accounting application with links between the bank account of the individual or a card and a TAJ office. As simple as that. At the end of the month, the app calculates how much taxes is due. They look at it. Money is in the account or on the card. Then press the button pay now, and that's it. So all they have to do is just put in what they earn and put in their expenses, and the app will do the rest. That's my idea for 2025. And the final suggestion that I have for the new year, this is for our commuters in the Kingston and St. Andrew corporate area. And I call this one now a JUTC app. Maybe in the rural areas, those persons who drive buses and so on may want to come on board, but I would not suggest that you encourage them or force them into it, because it may have implications for their safety, especially them taxi drivers, right? So I would suggest a JUTC app for the commuters to use their cell phones to know when the bus that they are waiting on will arrive at their location. Now, That would mean that every bus would have to be fitted out with a tracker. Here's the benefit of that, Prime Minister. It saves a lot of time. When you go and stand up at the bus stop, you don't know when the bus is supposed to be traveling on time, but you don't know what time that is. The time you stand up there for 1 hour, Mr. Prime Minister, you could have been doing something else because you know that the number 47 not coming your way until 2 o'clock. Or you look, you see it's on its way and the system is telling you it should be where you're located. It should arrive there in 30 minutes. You can go do something and then come back. That ought to increase revenue for the JUTC. It also gives an opportunity for the fleet managers to manage the buses right and make sure that they are where they're supposed to be, and they'll be able to see the areas that are not serviced right there on them computer screen. For the commuters, that will be very helpful because they can save a lot of time doing something else, and then they come out when they know the bus is on its way. What do you think about that? I would like that because when I go into Kingston, at them me turn up wait pan, and sometimes I wait all 1 hour, 1 hour me stand up and wait pan bus. And said to myself, so boy, I could have go do this. I want to go buy some biscuit. I want to go buy, a box milk or something. I said, boy, if I leave the blasted bus, might come. So I have to stand up the whole time. I think that would be very helpful. So all you would need, trackers on the bus and an app. I used to dispatch truckers in the United States, one truck. And if they are on their way to New York, for argument's sake, and they use the tracking system, and they're supposed to deliver, say, in Jamaica, New York, on some street there, Google Map will tell them the estimated time for them to arrive based upon the traffic flow. Right? I am sure they're able to do the very same thing here, and there are a whole heap of tracking companies there that JUTC can use if they're interested. So those are the things that are on my wish list for 2025. Yes, we could do well with a lot of money, and you see that nice car, the house and the cruise, yes, but make we focus on the community first, yes. Those are some small things that could mean a lot in people's lives. And therefore, I just toss them out there. I don't know where they'll reach, but that is my 2 pence word. Now, my peeps, I know you have a whole heap of things you'd like to see too. So, please put it in the comment section and let us all discuss it. And one more thing. I would like to see the cost of living go down. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister, the price of food can't work. And that is where poor people spend their money on. Me tired of tell you, no, Mas Andrew. Me tired of tell you. You need to get the food prices down. You get that down and you get your third term. So you have to put some spoke in Mr. Floyd behind. And if him can't manage the work, you need to find somebody who is experienced in agriculture with a whole heap of ideas in them head that can solve that problem. To advise him if you don't want to remove him, since you think he might have potential. That is my suggestion. My peeps, I will leave it there. Happy New Year to all of you. And of course, I know that this new year will certainly be better than 2024. And although we're hearing doom and gloom for the economy, how it go drop down and it go pop down and we in recession and all kind of something, I don't know about you, my peeps. You feel any recession? Because that is what people don't understand. The fact that the economy is not growing, or the fact that the economy may take a little dip or stagnant, it does not follow that the people are not benefiting from what is going on. And that is where the key is. Wanna see any business a lockdown anywhere, my peeps? For those of you who live in the small towns or the big towns in Jamaica, and you go out on the road, I want you to report to me if you see where you have vacant shops because I know in places like all of the towns, they are practically full in terms of this space. So apart from fires and dilapidated buildings that are shut down from long time, I want you to tell us here whether or not, in the comment section, whether or not you're seeing empty shops, people closing down, the doors and so on. You see chains on the grill, which suggests that the people gone out of business. We need to know that, because that is what will tell us what the real situation in the country is. So that will be the clue as to what is going on. For the persons in Kingston and St. Andrew, in Montego Bay, those two main areas, in the grill, tell us if you see shutters, businesses shut down in the area, and how many. And that should tell us whether the recession is causing business failures. That is the key. Take me long to get it out. We want to know if there are business failures. If there are people who used to be working, you see at home now, they tell you that they were laid off. Those are the things that we are looking out for. Are hotels on the North Coast downsizing and laying off people? Are businesses laying off people? Those are the things we look out for to know whether or not the recession, the decline in growth is actually affecting business operations. That is what will tell us. The simple number is not enough, because a company can go on carrying on the same way and not growing, but that doesn't mean that things are not good for them. If they're still able to make the profit, still able to employ people, then that's good enough, right? What they don't want is for them to be losing sales or their costs to be increasing while their sales is falling. And that is what we are going to go out there now, and we're going to pay attention, and we're going to come in the comment section and tell everybody what we observe. What you say to that? Sound good? Great. So my peeps, that's all we have for you this year. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and leaving your comments. So until next year, take good care of yourselves and walk good.